Hi everyone, I am Ravikant Sharma. From this video onwards, we are going to start with CSS. In the previous videos, we have studied the HTML. Before starting with CSS, you must know the HTML. So I recommend you do check out the HTML playlist before starting with CSS. So now let's start with CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. As you all know, CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. But CSS is used to add the designs, styles in a web page. For example, if you want to add the background color of your web page to red, then you can do that with the help of CSS. CSS is basically used to add the styles, designs, or layout of your web page. For example, you want the width of your web page to 700 pixel and height to 100 vh, then you can do that with the help of CSS. We can use the CSS in a web page in three ways, and the three ways are inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. Inline CSS is used as a attribute of the tag. For example, you have a tag like heading. In the heading tag, in the heading starting tag, you will add an attribute that is style, and you will apply all the styles in that attribute. And the second way to add the CSS in a web page is internal CSS. Internal CSS is applied inside the head of the HTML document. You have a head tag. Inside the head tag there is a tag that is style tag, and all the styles of the web page is applied inside the style tag. And the third type of CSS is external CSS, and it is recommended by the web developers. In the external CSS, you will create a new file with .css extension. Just like we have a HTML file like index.html, in the same way we will create a new file that is style.css. Okay, and we will link that file with our HTML document, and all the styles is applied inside that CSS file. So these are the three ways by which you can add the CSS in your HTML document. Now let's try to add the CSS in our HTML document in VS Code to understand it practically. Now we are in the VS Code, so we have to create a new file that is index.html. So click here and create a new file that is index.html, then hit enter. Here is a new file that is index.html. This is an HTML file. So import the basic document structure with the help of emmet abbreviation. So type exclamation mark, then hit enter. So this is the document structure of the HTML. Now we have to use the CSS. So first we try to use the inline CSS. Inline CSS is applied inside the tag itself. So just type h1, then hit enter. So this is a heading. Okay, this is a heading. Just I type randomly. This is a heading. You can type the random words with the help of lorem. Just enter lorem, then type the number of words that you want. Let's say I want 10 words, then 10, then hit enter. So VS Code automatically generated the 10 words for me. Okay, you can also use that. Now I have to use the inline CSS. So inline CSS is used in the heading tag itself. So I have to type here style, then hit enter. So this is an style attribute which is used as a inline CSS. Now we will apply the property that we want to apply inside this heading tag. Now this style is applied only to the heading, not to the whole web page. Okay. Now let's say we will type the background color. So BSCK background color, hit enter. Let's say we want the red background color, then hit enter. Now let's see the result in web browser. Just right click, open with live server. Now you can see there is a heading which is having a red background color. So this is the simple example of inline CSS. Now let's say we want the background color of whole the web page in different color. So how can we do that? Now we have to apply the style to whole the web page. So we have to apply the style inside the body tag, because all the content of the web page is contained inside the body tag. So we will apply style, hit enter, then let's say background color, let's say green. Okay, now the body tag having a background color green and our heading tag having a background color that is red. Now let's see the output in the browser. Here you can see whole the web page is having a background color that is green in color and the heading is red in color. So this is the example of inline CSS. Now let's understand the internal CSS. The internal CSS is applied inside the head of the document. So this is the heading or head of the document. We have to apply the style tag inside the head. So just type style, then hit enter. So this is the style tag. Here style is an attribute. Here it is used as an internal CSS. So style is a tag. Here style is a attribute. Okay, let's say we want to access this h1 heading. So we have to type h1 curly braces, then hit enter. Now we have to type the property that we want to apply on the heading. Let's say we want the font size to 50 pixel. Okay, now we have applied the CSS to the h1 that its font size will be 50 pixel. Now let's see the output in the browser. Here you can see the font size of the h1 heading is 50 pixel. So this is example of internal CSS and this is inline CSS. Okay, these are the two types of CSS. This is our internal CSS and this is inline CSS we have used here. Now let's understand the external CSS, how to use the external CSS. For external CSS, we have to create a new file which is having a .css extension. So now let's create a new file. So click on that, style.css. You can use any name, style2, style1, any type of name, but extension is .css. Just hit enter. Now this is our CSS file where we have to apply the styles. Remove all the internal and inline CSS before using the external CSS. Now if you want to use the external CSS, we have to link that style.css file to the index.html file. We can do that with the help of link tag. So just type link, then hit enter. Here you can see rel. Rel means related to. This link is related to style sheet and the reference is style.css. This is the URL, or we can say the address of our CSS file where the CSS file is present. Because the CSS file is present in the same document or same folder, so we don't have to type the folder name or etc. But if the CSS file is present in another folder, then we have to type the folder name also. Okay, we link the external CSS file to our HTML document. Now let's try to change the background color of the h1. Before applying any changes to the external CSS, let's see the output. Here you can see this is a simple web page which is containing a heading. Now let's create a paragraph also. Hit enter, lorem, then 50 words. Okay, you can use the alt plus Z. Now let's apply the style to this web page. This is a simple web page. Now we are going to apply the style to this web page with the external CSS. So here we have to type the tag name. Means let's say we want to select all the heading from the HTML document. This tag will select all the headings present in the HTML document. Now we will apply the property that we want to use. For example, let's say background color. Any type of background color that we want to use. Let's say we also want to change the font family. Just type font family, then hit enter. We can use any type of font family. Okay, so these are the two properties applied on this h1. So this h1 style is getting reference from this style.css file. because we have linked this file here. Okay, now let's see the output on the browser. Here you can see the heading font family change, and its background color also change. Okay, so this is a simple way to add the external CSS. So these are the three types of CSS